I have. I brought a couple of La Croix. If you want.
Do you want coffee?
But I appreciate
I am
it.
fancy.
Okay. So coffee.
Unfortunately, I don't think you have the materials I would take to make coffee.
Well, yes,
What do you
sugar.
need?
Oh,
Sugar,
like
sugar.
Starbucks coffee,
Milk,
basically.
Milk, sugar, milk.
Like for I don't
Sugar
drink
cream.
coffee. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sugar,
So what I usually do is like if I make it at home, I will.
Are we streaming right now?
I think so.
I'm not sure. If I make it at home, like I'll use like I'll put like chai in it, and then I'll put some of like the pumpkin spice creamer from Starbucks.
Yeah.
Because I'm that person. Yeah.
Bit.
Who cares if you like it? I recently just found out about creamers.
What?
And I felt like I've never drank with creamer, not for any other reason than I just usually like black
Fucking
coffee. And I
pumpkin.
tried creamer for
Amazing.
flavored for the first time the other day, and I was like, no wonder people drink this. It's delicious.
It frightens me that it's too gentle on me. I need it to hurt, or else I'm like.
I need to feel the caffeine hitting.
Yeah.
my-
Or else I'll over caffeinate and just get shaky. Like I need to know where I'm at with it.
That's a good
That
point.
makes sense.
Yeah, it is dangerous because now that if I do use creamer, I will have definitely more cups. Than
Yeah.
not.
Because it tastes.
I just don't like all the
Delicious.
sugar you get for most of it.
Yeah.
I get that.
That's just because you're already so sweet.
Actually, whilst I'm thinking about it, just so like, because I'm thinking about bringing more food.
Huh? What?
not
What?
not these.
I'm sorry.
What?
I asked if her eyelashes were real.
Oh, are they?
No.
Yeah. Nothing's real.
While I'm thinking
Well,
about it,
that's not true.
I'm wanting to bring like more shareable food to game
Looks like I
nights.
don't
Yeah.
have pants on.
Are you vegan or vegetarian?
Oh, that's a
I'm
bad
pescatarian.
angle.
Okay, got it.
So, vegetarian fish.
No, that's
just
fair.
sit like
Same
this.
thing as cheese.
Yeah.
I just wanted to know what I could bring that would be within everybody's.
just
you know.
don't bring
Are they glue on?
beef,
or are they
poultry,
falsies?
pork.
Yeah, I mean they're falsies.
Any other
the,
red
the
meats?
strips
Here, I'll
that I
take
just have to like put the glue on in.
So it's not like the lash extension.
Did I get one of the dick cups?
I wish so, but it.
No.
The falsies
I like the
on
dick
that
cups.
perfectly?
Oh, thanks.
You're welcome.
You like the dick cups?
Yeah, the one that says dick on it.
Yeah.
That's the one that I
There's a
like.
couple.
Oh, are there?
There's a couple dick cups.
So hopefully
see a
this,
dick cup.
hopefully
There
this
is a
screen
one
here
here. It doesn't have like a dick on it. It just
works
says
okay.
dick.
Dropped frame 77%.
Is it? Okay, I was about to say, how is
Yeah, you're
the?
probably getting throttled. We'll see how this looks.
Sorry.
If it looks like ass,
I
what I'll
used it
do
today,
is
that's why.
I think I have a record function.
I know I turned
It's
off
a
my
multiplier.
Wi-Fi, so.
Well, this isn't on. This is her
Yeah, you sure
Wi-Fi.
can.
This is it.
So if it looks like ass, then we'll just. I think I can just hit record
It's my favorite
and
rock.
record it.
Of course, it's the most.
That'd be really good. You want to check it really quick, Nigel? See if it
I
looks
like
like
being cool.
butthole.
Yeah, sure.
Oh my gosh, did this just
Actually, I'm
vibrate?
kind of surprised. Have I got a
Yeah.
notification?
I did,
Yeah, I got it.
just now.
Oh, of course I did. Like literally as I
Oh,
opened my
smooth.
phone.
It actually doesn't look that
Get
bad.
over. Oh man, I haven't washed this.
Yeah, it doesn't
Oh,
look that
maybe.
bad. I mean, it looks like
Fine,
we're
is
in an
that-
episode of
It's like I hadn't
Hoarders,
showered in a
but
couple days because I was at fair.
Oh,
And
yeah.
I just got back, finished work, and came down here and was like, I mean, I think I smell decent enough to show in front of you all.
I mean, I don't smell anything.
Good.
Yeah.
That was the whole point.
Oh, thank you.
I also have a little bit of wine if anybody wants some. Or some bourbon. If anybody wants to set this right here. I also have some, apparently,
I don't want this pillow.
White Russian. If you want a White Russian.
How do you have one?
Oh.
Oh.
Yeah.
Or a black Russian.
I don't have any Black
Well, it's
Russian.
already mixed.
Yeah,
That's-
it's
Wait, what?
yeah.
What's
I was
Black
like,
Russian?
Black
They
Russian
let
is
Just
us-
without
have-
with cream.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
They let us take a to-go
That makes sense.
Tupperware thing full of
Making
White
myself
Russians and whatever.
a camel toe on camera.
Did you
At least
see
you
how
have
the-
pants on.
Yeah, it looks fine.
Oh,
Charlie
does it?
Brown's.
Yeah.
Wow.
Apparently they'll let you do
With all those drop
to-go
frames?
orders still.
I don't understand why that's
It's
not
at
a thing all the
78%.
time.
Agreed.
Drop frame.
It's so fucking sad.
But it looks fine.
Really?
I mean, it's decently clear. Yeah.
Holy shit. Okay.
Whatever. Would you put those in that little tiny unzipped top pocket on my backpack?
I don't know why I just said thank you to you. But
Yeah. Well, that's because you're thanking me for.
That's
Speaking
not,
to you.
No.
Yeah.
No.
I understand.
That's not
The
it.
sass that I'm in betwixt.
Yeah.
But we
Betwixt.
need a buffer.
Betwixt. I don't know if I'm gonna be a good buffer. If I'm just
It's
gonna
funny
add
because
chaos
when-
on both
Oh, that'd
sides.
be
It's
Like,
funny because when we're alone, we're not quite this sassy. But
You are.
I am. You're right.
You're mean to me nonstop.
Yeah, that's true.
Oh, I know that feeling.
Yeah.
It's okay. I got
Hey,
it.
calm down. I behave sometimes when I'm asleep.
When was it? What was it?
Oh,
What
FaceTime
day
is
did I
doing its
come
thing.
over there and hang out? What was that? Friday?
Chats.
What is today?
What
Today's
is
Monday.
Today's Monday. Saturday.
Monday.
Oh, is it Saturday?
Right?
Ooh, boy.
I don't remember now.
I think it was Saturday. Because yesterday
Yeah, I think it was
we
Saturday.
had other stuff going on.
Yeah, I think it was Saturday.
But all plans failed. Almost.
Yeah.
Except for-
That's what it was.
I don't want to check this, but I'm gonna.
Yeah, it was Saturday.
Okay.
Not managing your
Oh
Instagram.
yeah, because you were talking about maybe going to fair on Sunday.
Yeah.
That's what it was.
That's what it was.
All right, I'm gonna turn that
Nobody
off.
came.
Hopefully
I was gonna be there, but
Hopefully
things
works.
happened.
So hungover. I just did. It's alright.
Hopefully.
It was down a leg.
Down one leg.
Down un leg.
Boon.
Were you hanging out with? Did you hang out with Emma Saturday night?
Yep.
I figured she was pretty drunk because she was texting me and she seemed drunk.
We did
But look, we're
the
doing this on the live stream.
Sabrages.
You're definitely doing it.
Oh yeah. Is that
the-
what it's called?
Yeah.
apparently.
What
I
is
think where you saber the cork
Shaba.
off of the champagne bottle. And we had 12 bottles of champagne to do that with.
do that so bad.
I think it ended
It's
up being
real
actually like
fun.
14.
14.
I think the final count was 14.
Dear God. That explains everything.
Mm.
Yeah, so we were a little toasty.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Toasty.
Because there were not even 12 people that were actually drinking.
Oh, well,
I
yeah.
don't like. Okay, I didn't think about
I
that.
hope this is really exciting to whoever's
Okay.
watching.
Hey!
I'm thinking that it's kind of like when you start gaming.
Mhm.
There's that good 20 minutes of
Of bullshit.
people are hanging out,
Yeah.
and that's really what this is about. I mean, I just wanted to get people together on Monday.
We just
Say
got
hey.
in. Y'all calm down.
Um,
I'm looking at the wrong thing.
so
do you wear socks?
Sometimes.
Wow.
are my feet kicking?
No.
Okay.
No, I was gonna ask if she wears socks. She
Sorry,
should get you to
'cause-
start wearing socks.
Oh, yeah.
'Cause-
I wear, these are just my house shoes. But I wear socks if I'm wearing, like, closed shoes.
Yeah.
I don't wear socks. The socks are
You should teach him
stupid.
some things about socks.
He said they make them sweaty.
Yeah,
Yeah, but it'll be a barrier.
dude,
Maybe
I've been
smart
doing stuff. I've been taking steps. There's a pun there. I've been taking and
Pour hot coffee on your feet.
it might help. Actually, coffee, takes out odor. I'm pretty sure.
Does
It
it?
does,
Yeah, that's
yeah.
why they
Oh.
put
Well,
they put
coffee
drugs in
stinks.
it.
I learned
usually.
anything.
That's why they put drugs in it, right?
Yeah.
Because the dogs can't smell the drugs.
Allegedly.
Hmm. Anyway, I was just.
That's how we got through China.
Yeah.
I was not there.
Jeff's like, shut the fuck up.
Let it be known.
Mm.
Yeah.
No, there was some clandestine shit, but nothing like drugs.
Nothing like drugs.
Yeah, you don't fuck around in like communist countries with
No.
drugs, dude.
No, that's
Like you just don't do it. Why would you do
a
that?
great way to disappear.
There's that NBA basketball lady.
Yep.
Like she's in Russia. I think she had like a weed pen.
Yep.
And I mean, like, she's potentially going to jail for like 10 years or some
Yep.
shit.
Yeah.
And it's pretty awful.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's bad in Japan too.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's real
Really?
bad in Japan.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Interesting. It's like anywhere in Asia. And I know Russia's not technically considered
Part of it
Asia,
is. I mean,
but it is absolutely on the Asian continent.
yeah.
And on their plate, as in the tectonical one.
the tectonic.
Yes.
Apparently there was an earthquake in Kentucky.
Yeah.
How do you know?
Because I have been on social media
When was it?
all.
Was it today? Was
That
it
I don't know.
It was either today
I
or
just saw
yesterday.
a glass of water and it was
Oh,
doing
you actually
this.
saw something?
Yeah.
Oh.
Oh.
Wait.
Apparently it was like a
It was a video. I
point
don't-
something. And most
Wait, you saw it
Oh,
in
not
the
in
video?
person video. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
and most
Yeah.
people and the news says that most people like wouldn't have felt it.
Yeah.
I-
Somebody had a little
What
water
time was it
thing.
supposed to have gone off?
No idea. I
Let's
didn't
see.
feel it.
It's not gonna
Well, we
go.
are in that that big fault line.
Oh yeah, apparently like
Yeah.
whenever that goes,
Oh, we're all
fucking
gonna
The
die.
New Madrid fault?
Yeah, whenever it happens, we're all done.
We are done.
Yeah.
That's why I'm moving. It's not why I'm moving.
Moving
But-
to a state that's going to drift off. Into
Right,
the
I'm gonna
ocean.
move.
Right.
I'm gonna move to a bigger.
As
farm.
it-
A bigger,
Fire.
a
Yeah.
bigger fucking mistake.
I'm not gonna move here. I'm gonna move to Yosemite. Jesus.
Actually, I have heard that Yellowstone.
I think it's just
Not-
a big volcano.
It's a super
Well,
volcano.
I watched a video about it, and they were talking specifically about how the way that it's letting off,
It's not going to be explosive.
Well, yeah, it's exceptionally unlikely that it's actually going to explode.
Oh.
It's going to be one of them drippy, like, it just...
I know.
Yeah, there's no... I'm tired. This is what we
I
got.
feel that.
Yeah. You're welcome, stream.
Once you hit 40,
It's not as tight.
No.
Can't
I mean, I don't have that problem, but I know other people do.
I'm talking about an enlarged prostate.
Which
There are
does.
things you can do to help that,
Jerk off? What?
like massaging it.
and less caffeine and alcohol. Dude, I ain't afraid.
Those two things actually do make it worse. Because I used to have periodic
As you
inflammation
double fist
episodes with
coffee
it.
and wine.
Yeah, I used to have episodes where it would inflame, and ever since I stopped drinking, it hasn't happened.
Water
anymore.
involved.
Okay.
This stream is chaos.
Turns out soda water is
But
like
if you
the
can
worst
massage
thing
it, and you
ever.
don't have to like stick your finger up your ass to do it, you can massage it through your tank.
I know how it's done.
Okay, I'm just saying.
That's been a conversation. Yeah, I know we're
You
looping
lay on your
back
side,
to this.
bring up your knee.
Let it go.
Yeah, there's a whole method.
You can actually.
Yeah, you lay on your either left or right side, and you bring up the knee on that side, and then you can massage
You get
it.
in there.
Yeah, you can just massage that whole area.
There's even oils and stuff like
Yeah.
too, if you want.
And just gotta be careful. Sometimes you might just shoot, but you know.
So maybe not oil. Don't get
Yeah.
it too slippery.
Shower
Shower first. I recommend a shower before.
Yeah.
Oh!
and probably afterward.
And after, yeah.
You're gonna find me on the floor. I'm taking a break.
I'm
I'm gonna work on my kegels.
do it.
You
We
okay
can do
over
it
there?
together.
What? The cucumber up my ass.
I mean,
Like maybe a weighted butt plug. I
any
don't
kind of
know.
applied pressure, it's good
That
for
seems
you.
like it'd be bad.
Just not a super heavy one, but
Like
like
a
to
weighted butt.
train that booty hole to clinch harder. I don't know.
There you go.
Yeah, I guess so. Anyway, so that's our 20 minutes.
I don't like. You're just like.
When it's your asshole, it's a little bit.
No. Her just like the recommendations you give, just like totally straightforward about it. I don't
Like
know.
a goddamn doctor.
It's because she's dirty. That's why.
Thank you. And we're getting there. Come on.
Okay.
We've seen and talked about weirder.
I guess it's true, but
Figure's
it's
just
not
horny
expecting
town,
it.
you
3,
USA.
2, 1 stream. Right? That was a joke, and it was not.
Oh, I got to see. I did my confused smile. I went.
So, what? I'll do jazz hands so that I know to cut it out. Everybody do jazz hands. For at least 10 seconds.
Oh.
Because I gotta scroll
yeah,
through
you're
the
gonna-
video and see everyone doing jazz hands.
Oh my god.
People, they're like, yeah, and it's like, this thing's, we're dropping 60 frames, right? Now it's just making me do it. Okay.
No.
Okay, so, we've been playing, which camera am I looking? We've been playing, this Dungeons and Dragons game for too long. It's been 2 years.
Do we need mics?
No, we have a big old mic right there.
Oh, okay.
Big ol'
And that mic is oddly sensitive.
Yeah, that's the one we use for.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Someone's on the chat like, fuck, this sucks.
Hey.
No one's
So,
touching.
so the game started in 2020. That's right, I said 2020, not 2020.
Because he's cool.
Right, by our friend Chuck Salmon.
Oh. He started this game?
Yeah, he's the one who started it. And
That kind of makes sense why it's called Richmond Fey.
right, exactly. So he started it in Richmond, Kentucky, hence Richmond. And Fey, because he ran the game on St. Patty's Day, hence Fey because of leprechauns. And the deal is because of COVID, they had canceled St. Patty's Day parade and all that crap. So he wanted to run a game, get everyone together. Definitely wearing masks.
We social distanced.
We
Yeah.
were around a table. And the idea was the plot.
Around.
The plot
Yeah.
was there was this evil Krampus style leprechaun who was going to steal St. Patty's Day. That's it.
That sounds like a Chuck
That's a Chuck Salmon
idea.
idea. Actually, it was a really fun game. And everyone got into it, and he ran 2 sessions. I was part of the second session. And there was so much energy about it, and everything was fucking shut down, right? You should have been there.
I wasn't allowed to see anyone during the first year of pandemic.
I'm sad. Everyone was shut down.
Yeah.
Anyway, and I was like, dude, we should make this an actual campaign. And of course, Chuck, being who he is, was like, nah, that ain't me. So I took over the game.
He could never commit to such a thing.
No. And, the dude works all the time. Like, 20 different jobs. Anyway, so, I started running the game and I made it way too complicated. And they were like,
It's still way too cold.
it's way too complicated.
Yeah.
It's less complicated, though. Now,
Lord.
The initial idea was they were in this fantasy world, which is Craster, which is the DreadLore world. Am I wearing the shirt? No. So DreadLore. Are you? No, bad badge. Oh, the DreadLore.
No.
Mess with those badges anymore.
The universe, whatever world, prime material, if you will, is called Craster. The planet is called Craster Universe, which is the game that I created and pretty much everyone's helped with. And the idea was they were trying to find this mythical place, this lost kingdom of the super elves or whatever, called Caras Tirmen, which means Castle Tirmen in some language. I looked it up, and at the time I knew. So, their whole thing was they got hired to, they were in a tavern. It was Fistful of Dollars. You guys seen the movie Fistful of Dollars, or Sanjuro or Yojimbo? Anyway, whatever. The idea was you got this town. Imagine like a western town, and there's two gangs that run the town on either end of the town, and so you have to decide, how to play those gangs off of each other so you don't get killed, and you can like screw them over and then take over the town. And one of the ways they were going to do this was they were hired by, God, his name was like Scott Bumblefoot, and he's a halfling.
It was Bumblefoot.
Yeah, it was Bumblefoot something, and he was married to this dwarf, and they were told of this mythical place, Caras Tirmen, and hey, very stereotypical D&D game. Go to this dungeon. Hey, it's a dungeon. There's a bunch of monsters and loot. You can have whatever you want out of it, very Aladdin's Cave of Wonders style. But you got to bring us this one seemingly useless or non-valuable item. And the item was called a Playbill. And it was like, literally like a script. And so they're like, oh, great. And so the entire game was just them getting to Caras Tirmen. And that took a really long time. And they were like...
Most of our relationship.
Yeah, there were like 10, 15 players. People running in, jumping out. We had food. Tons of stuff. It was a great game. The game kind of died. They were about to get to the castle. They'd gone through like a... I'm going to skip over some stuff. They'd gone, down the way, heard about the plot. They didn't go there. They're like, nah, fuck that. We're going to go into the Haunted Forest. Great. Haunted Forest, that's definitely in my notes. They left the NPCs behind. One of the NPCs was Alce, who you guys now know. Alce actually had a point in the game. They just left her. So, eventually I brought her back, and she had a whole different purpose. And I just started tying it together as the game kind of progressed. They went over... You see, the game died when they were in the Haunted Forest. And then we restarted it.
Yeah.
With Drizzle and Ben and Emma. Was there anyone else?
I don't think
Because
so.
you had played a different character.
Yeah, I had a different character until Eric moved and lost my character sheet.
Right. Because you were playing like a half dragon or a...
I was a dragonborn druid. Don't
Right.
recommend that for your first D&D character, guys.
Yeah. There was a whole subplot with like vampires, and eventually they were like... They realized that Caras Tirmen was a real place, and that Tirmen was the sort of lord's name, and he was a witch guy, right? Actually, he's the one that was. But regardless, at one time he'd been like a super elf called a LeShay, and the cousins of the Tirmen were called the Galahad. See how this just gets really complicated? And they start finding out, oh, there was a schism. The Tirmen and the Galahad had like this kind of fight. And Tirmen's daughter, Khalif, had sided with the Galahads, and so she was cursed into vampirism, and so they had this whole thing. Oh, now not only are you going to find the Playbill, but you're going to go to Caras Tirmen and use the Playbill to release that curse, to break the curse. And they're starting to find all this shit. And this is pretty much where the game now, we're actually started developing what was going on. And I had this idea that they could possibly go to Sigil. So, Sigil is like the center. It's like a city at the center of the multiverse, right? And throughout all of like the different strata of D&D settings, you know, like zombie setting, future setting, whatever, Sigil's at the center, so you can always get there. Is the idea, if you know how. Anyway, so they go through this graveyard. They find out a bunch of shit. They realize that somehow the lich god Vecna had appeared to the lowly elves at some point, fooled them into believing he was a Solar, and then had this whole religion. And this is all the plot of Vecna is trying to take over Sigil.
Can you add hashtags to videos that you post?
I have
on
no idea.
Because Vecna's probably trending because he's a character in the new season of Stranger
True.
Things.
Yeah, well, I guess people know who Vecna is because of
Yeah.
Stranger Things.
Yeah, he's the villain in the new season
Yeah.
of Stranger Things.
Would you like to talk about Vecna?
Whoa.
No.
Okay. Alright, well, I mean, I think you're the only one that knows.
I wasn't in the game when Vecna was in it. I mean, I know who Vecna is, but
Yeah,
I wasn't in the game.
In short, who's
And we're
Vecna?
noobs.
Well, he's a Lich King. I mean, he's like
And he's a god.
he's the biggest, baddest Lich there is. He's from the olden days of D&D. You know,
Yeah.
he's
Isn't he like? I mean, I had read something that wasn't he supposed to like? Isn't there some theory that he's like the first Lich or something like that?
yeah. I mean, his canon has kind of changed a bit.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
he's one of the earliest, most consistent of like the original villains that were written for.
I always thought Vecna was a chick.
Really?
Yeah,
Well,
until,
it sounds kind of like
until
a
I was
female
reading
name.
it, I was like, what? It's a dude? What?
Makes
Whatever.
sense. I can see that.
Actually, real quick question: Caras Tirmen, is that something that you created, or is that something that's actually in any of the books or anything?
Oh, I created.
Okay, I figured as much.
And it was just the idea was, it was a big fuck all D&D dungeon, which is not a new idea whatsoever. I mean, like Tomb of Horrors,
Yeah.
Tomb of Horrors 2, these are like Gary guys, one of the dudes, he and Terry, who was it? Anyway, the other dude who made D&D, Terry Hickney.
Yeah.
Um,
Remember his name.
they made these two huge dungeons, and the idea is you go in, fucking die, you go in with like the third or fourth character, and you slowly go down and get to level 20 or whatever. So that's really what it was. Until this point where I tied in the planes, and they met a, what was it? Oh, they met, Karin. Is that his name? The boatman? You know what I'm talking about? Like, where you put the
Oh, Kyra.
is it Kyron? I thought
I
it was
don't-
Karin.
Karen.
I don't. Karen.
It's Karen.
Is
yeah.
it Karen?
Karen.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Karen, you know, Karen?
'Cause it's supposed to be. The reason I remember it is because I always think of Carrion because
Yeah.
it's
really similar.
yeah.
Weird. Anyway, so they meet Karen, who is outraged. And they realize that in this Forbidden Forest, there's a stream that's all like brackish and awful looking. There's like dead shit in it. And one of the players, Ben, he was playing a Githyanki. Githyanki are a race that they're native to the astral. Well, nowadays they're native to the astral. And so they know about the planes, whereas these primers, as in people from the real world or the normal world, kind of don't know about that shit. And Jadok, which was Ben's character, was like, holy shit, that's the River Styx. Like, you have a little creek of the River Styx here, which is a really big deal because that shouldn't be in the prime material. And they find out that Caras Tirmen is actually like a kind of Howl's Moving Castle, Krull style, you know, multi-dimensional castle. That the reason it's mythical and people can't find it is because it only appears. This is straight out of Krull. It only appears under, you know, the pale moonlight on the 30th year of whatever the fuck, right? And looks like there's gonna be a pale moonlight thing up there, like a purple moon, pretty soon. So they keep on going. They find out about this dread fort thing, where these hobgoblins, because they're all like 3rd or 4th level, so you need hobgoblins. The NG joke.
Well, they're like a good like early campaign like
Right.
bad guys. Yeah.
I mean, goblins are at that point. And as they're climbing these rocks, you know, getting the hell out of the swamp, and the cemetery, which is full of undead.
Oh yeah. Oh.
That's
man.
when they run across this gang of goblins, and Drizzle's character, Pappillion, is there, and that's where his introduction came. Because Poe's party was wiped out by a big old band of goblins, and the way that Poe survived, do you remember?
He was pretending to be one, wasn't he?
Yeah, because he's a halfling.
Well, it's kind of funny that you introduce his character
And
and
he
save
couldn't
him
speak
from
the
some
language.
undead, because that's how
Yeah.
the hobbits are rescued by Tom Bombadil and Fellowship of the
Oh yeah,
Ring.
the Barrowlands.
Yeah,
That's right.
Whoa.
That's right.
everyone forgets about it because it's not in the movies.
We were just talking about
Yeah.
Tom Bombadil, just to totally ballsack feed this stream.
I mean, he's basically God.
So is he a Maiar?
They don't.
They
don't
never
ever
they never
say,
really
but-
say.
And his wife is Gold something?
Oh,
Isn't that sorry?
Goldberry?
Goldberry.
No,
Yeah.
yeah.
That's it. And she's like a river spirit or something, right?
I think she's just a normal human, wasn't she?
No. She's tough shit.
Yeah, they're. I mean, they don't really ever or Tolkien never really
Yeah.
defines him, but
He was there at the beginning, and people think that he was like the first.
Yeah, he's
Like
like
spirit.
He's probably the first spirit. That's the best way to
But-
describe him.
But he's not tainted by Morgoth when Morgoth infused Arda.
Well, that's why people tend to say he's like God, because he's separate. He's the first.
But
he's,
Sauron would, like, if Sauron got the One Ring, Tom Bombadil would be like the last to fall. Like, it's something along those lines.
well, theoretically, he could have just put an end to all of it if he wanted, but he chose.
think he would,
He chooses not to intervene.
Because Gandalf even says, we can't give the ring to Tom Bombadil.
Right.
I think.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And he's like, I didn't want any part of this.
Well, he doesn't want it, and that's also we're like, well,
When he also holds
he's
it,
kind of a
there's no
representation
sort
of God
nothing happens.
because he's
Yeah.
there
Does he? He does hold it.
with
Yeah.
the power, but he's just
Yeah.
like, meh, I don't really care.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
I love that character.
Yeah.
I mean, his song is stupid, but I still love him. It's like, what is it? I'm Tom Bombadil. What the fuck?
That's the unedited version.
That's pretty much it.
Fucking blue coat.
Now the Barrow Wights, are they actually raids?
No, they're just
They're just undead.
they're just undead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See, that's some
That would
good
have been a
shit.
really cool scene. I mean,
That
that's
would have been awesome.
Yeah, but that movie was already like 3 hours long. So.
Yeah, but it needed to be like 5.
Well, yeah, but
I
I
mean,
get
if
it.
you're
The
gonna
reason
make
they
it-
cut it out is because they didn't want to introduce Tom Bombadil. I mean, what's the woman that wrote most of the what's her name?
Wrote most of what?
Which she converted the book to the script.
Oh, no idea.
What is her name?
It's been a very long
Anyway,
weekend.
when she was doing all of that, she chose to remove Tom Bombadil because her and
So you should
Jackson
get that
couldn't figure out a way
To make him cool.
to make him cool, to make the audience purchase that decision,
Right.
to be like, why doesn't he do more? Kind of like the Eagles, even though and they don't really explain it because
Right, they don't explain it, but people are like,
why don't the
There's a
Eagles do
fucking
that? Well, there's a
reason
reason why,
Yeah.
but it's just easier to ignore it.
well, they also take out the werewolf guy. It's a bee.
Bjorn.
Oh well, he's in the Hobbit.
yeah.
Bjorn.
Yeah, he's in the Hobbit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The werebear.
Mhm.
Yeah. Bjorn. I still trying to remember her name.
Oh no, he's not in Lord of the Rings. He's just in the Hobbit.
Yeah, he's in the Hobbit.
That's right. That's
I
right.
mean, he's mentioned, but I don't remember her name. It's not important. I just don't
Okay.
remember her name.
Anyway, the people, all the thousands of people watching this, can tell us in the chat. Okay, so we met your character.
Philippa Boyan.
What is it?
Philippa Boyan.
Thank you, Philippa. So Poe was met first. They slaughter the shit out of the goblins. Keep on going around. Poe accidentally finds. Basically, there's all these. It's like very Roman ruins-y.
Yeah.
Caras Tirmen is. And they realize that they've been in the grounds for a very long time and didn't really know it. There's all these statues. They're, imagine like Venus de Milo, but they're all like fucked up and shit. And, they're this kind of elf. They almost look like elves, but they're not elves. And that's when they put together, oh, these are shit. It's actually not just a city of elves, like everyone thought. The Eladrin, like the the real Fey were here, and this is like part of the Fey court. So you have all the different Fey brownies and all that kind of shit that go in, and the unseelie court and everything. And that's the tie-in to the deities in the D&D pantheon, because you get into Corellon, the actual elf deity, and there's the schism with that in Vecna. Anyway, it's all D&D lore. And somehow Karrek Tirmen, which is a dumb name, it sounds and it looks really cool on paper. Then you say it, it's not as cool.
I don't think that's a bad name.
You think it's okay? I always think it said like correct Tirmen, but it's not. Anyway.
I think we've come up with worse names than that. Don't worry.
What was the one on Critical Role?
Oh, Pervon.
Pervon.
Yeah.
It's funny. They thought it was hilarious.
Yes, they did. Matt almost killed him.
So, Karrek Tirmen is somehow at the center of this. And they get to the Dread Fort. They realize that the Dread Fort has actually been overrun. There's mind flares, down the way. There's an entrance to the Underdark, and that's where you met Heiðr.
Yeah.
And Murad.
My second character.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, you were with Murad?
Tell a little bit about that introduction.
I would expect your character
Because this
to
was at a bit of a schism.
better friends then.
This was
Yeah.
about the time that
He's hard to roll with.
this is about the time that Jadok is piecing out of the game.
Yeah.
This is when he started bitching out on the game. And then Lenadari, which was Emma's character, kind of stuck around, hung on a little bit. Jadok was around for a little bit more.
She played even after he left.
She
Okay.
did. She would come over,
That's
bring
interesting.
pizza and stuff.
Yep.
She was playing in Eladrin, which was kind of cool, of like the summer court. And she had a really cool idea. Like, depending on, I don't know what the rules are, but it's like, if she's in her spring phase, she has certain powers. And like one is like she can Misty Step, so she can like teleport over short distances. But because she's Fey and there's a chaotic element, when she appears, she's naked, which is really funny. And like there's like leaves and birds that like that fly out. And then there's another point where she went into her winter phase because it's all the seasons, and she was like this cutthroat, like Frost Queen type. It was really cool. Jadok was just a dick, but he was also a Githyanki. Right. So at this point, there was kind of this not schism, but the game was going through a different phase. Emrys,
Yes. Now.
introduce what you remember, because I don't want to talk for another 20 minutes.
Um.
I know,
Also,
I
I
try
was
every
new,
week.
so that
Yeah.
was rather intimidating. So I remember there being mushrooms. I remember meeting a human. Yes.
Huge.
Human.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Who was absolutely out of his mind on shrooms.
And that is Murad.
That is Murad. The horse too. He took the horse down with him.
You guys were in the Underdark.
What was he high on shrooms? Did you eat shrooms from the dark?
Yeah.
Because he was in the Underdark and it's Murad
Yeah.
and he can't see in the dark. So he's just, I want to say he got tricked by, it's called a Lemur or something.
Yeah.
It's like a gray elf or a gray fae
Yeah.
that they're not murderous, but they're not good.
Were they like, here, eat these mushrooms?
Yeah, they're like, oh, we'll help you. I'll come in here, eat these fucking just that kind of shit.
Yeah.
And had been there for a while, like, took all his shit and left. So he was wandering through the Underdark when he met Heiðr, who
Was
were on the run.
yeah. I was on my way out, and then
And
So-
tell the details. Everybody wants to know.
right the
This is your
intricate
time.
details of 2 years ago. Got it.
It's your backstory.
It sure is. It'd been nice to know before the stream. I would
Anyone
have
want
read up on
some
that.
more?
So
Okay,
I
Hands
killed
are two
somebody
different
that. No, no.
Just use
Somebody
this.
else killed somebody.
No, I'll get it fast.
There's so much more. Hey, there's a drow. She's leaving. Murad was on drugs. She took him with her. The horse too. I can't remember the horse's name.
What happened to his horse?
Horse's name is Friday.
Yes. I don't think we took the horse into Caras Tirmen because we thought it would be fodder pretty
Oh,
quickly.
yeah.
So we said it.
Well,
would
he's
be
a
free.
he's a mounted archer. It would make sense for him to ride a horse. And,
He had that horse for a while.
Yeah. I thought he left him outside of Caras Tirmen, didn't he?
Yeah, but that was a few sessions later.
but it's because I drive. This arm is tanner than this one.
Oh,
The
because
skin is
leave it
darker.
out.
Must be because of when I drive.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's weird.
I have a birthmark, so there's an unfair tan line
Yeah,
there.
yours is
It's
darker
stupid.
too.
Yeah. Real dumb. Always. Yes.
What do you mean you didn't know? It's literally recapping the session from the beginning.
I didn't know we were going into backstories and all that good stuff.
Well, just the idea of like why you were there and
Yeah.
the basic rundown.
So, so what had happened was, Heiðr was a aspiring drow warrior, wanted to go the Lolth route,
Right.
be one of her warriors.
But she was not a cleric,
Right.
which is a thing in Drow society.
Yeah.
As in,
and-
it's like she's not doing the thing she should be doing or whatever.
Yeah. So that happened as punishment for not doing it the right way, I guess. Someone unnamed within the society, killed Heiðr's lover.
Right.
Um,
Who's a lady?
uh,
Lady lover.
lady lover. This Drow society, man. I'm not gonna debase myself as a man. Jeez.
Well, it's like that scene in Wonder Woman. I think it's Wonder Woman.
Which one?
Huh?
Which one?
The movie.
Well, there's two.
With Gal Gadot.
There's two.
They say something like, she's like, oh yeah, we have lovers, and then, but he's like, but you don't have any men,
Oh.
and she's like, yeah, men aren't very good at it.
Yeah.
Where's the lie?
Yeah. Yeah. So Heiðr feels that way.
Yeah.
Which is why, Neve and
Right.
oh, yeah. So her lover got spread across the Underdark in a very vicious way.
Yeah.
She was a little pissy about that. It kind of broke the brainwashing of this is the one way to go. It made her start thinking about Dritz, and she had heard of another drow who had also left, named Malvray.
Oh yeah, Malvray. That's right.
And she was like, that's good enough odds if two of them could make it out there. I'm angry enough that I could probably escape. And Heiðr's whole goal is to get powerful enough to go back down and take care of those who took her person away from her.
Right.
So she's very vengeance driven, but she's not necessarily sharing that with the party. First of all, no one's asked,
Right.
but
Right.
that's not information she's gonna just give out willy nilly.
And that's kind of the whole backstory behind, why she's being hunted as well.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because she's actually not just some drow.
right.
Like she actually was important.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And when she left, she became even more so.
Right.
Yeah, so people trying to kill me, it's real good. Led Heiðr into creating an alter ego and cross-dressing as a male tiefling called a Nokris. So half the time I'm role-playing as a man rather than a woman so that the drows can't find me.
Yep. And Poe made you a dick.
Yeah, Poe made me a penis.
Yeah.
And it really upped my disguise score. It's awesome.
You have beaten people with your penis.
I've beaten people with my penis. It's been shoved into the heart of an angel.
Yeah, that happened.
Yes.
That was
Oh, yeah.
part of the game.
My dick's been around.
Yeah.
Yeah. More than most.
Saved an angel's life with your penis.
Yeah, I did.
Like really?
I mean, who else can say that?
There was a big stake in her heart
We
like
decided
like
we
an
should
evil,
pull it out.
literally an evil steak. And so
Yeah.
they were like, and she's like, and goes down.
Oh,
She's like,
no.
oh no, my
Took out
penis,
my penis.
because it's like a sock.
Yeah. It's absorbent!
Oh God.
Like a tampon in a bullet hole.
Yeah.
That's what it was.
Yeah. I actually said that
I
out
know,
loud on the
that's
screen.
literally
Yeah.
what you said.
I panicked. You know, when you kill the person you're trying to rescue, there's panic.
She's grateful.
Yeah, thankfully. So that's pretty much Heiðr. Her and Murad haven't gotten necessarily closer or bonded by that, word-wise. I think it's more just there is the unspoken understanding the backs of each other are had,
Right.
but they were kind of thrust together through very weird circumstances, and so it didn't necessarily blossom into something we share our feelings, I know his favorite color type of thing.
Right.
It's more just like, I want him in a fight with me at all times. So, yeah, that's
That'd be a really cool scene for you guys to, excuse me, to actually talk about.
there's so many cool scenes I want to do, and it's so chaotic, it's hard to pull
Yeah,
the
that's
other
what's-
person into it.
Side sessions are really good, but I mean, it's just about time.
Yeah.
You know.
Because I've got one I'd love to do with Poe, too.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So all of this happened within the first year.
yeah.
So Heiðr comes out out of the Underdark with Murad to find a bunch of a mind flayer. So tentacle faced dude.
Yeah.
And a bunch of Durugar, which are the dark dwarves. And this mage called Iskatov. He kind of looks like Samuel L. Jackson from Star Wars. Like Mace Windu type stuff. I actually have a picture of him, and he doesn't look like that. But that hits the main points. And he knows that they and the group actually will meet up. I should say, the group and Heiðr and Murad meet up because that was that session.
I remember how we met up, because it was wild.
No, go ahead.
We got the Mind Flayer and Iskatov were fighting.
Right.
And Iskatov was fighting through like a scry
Yeah.
thing.
It's a scry disc. thing.
Yeah. And as Murad and I were trying to rush out past him, thinking maybe we could just make a run for it, we got in the way of the scry disc, and it sucked us into it onto Iskatov's side, which just so happened to be where the party was.
Right.
At that point, the horse had come to.
The party had been split, or burned it down, and all these horses were coming. All hell was breaking loose.
Yep.
Cats and dogs were living together. And essentially they figured out a direction to go that would take them to Caras Tirmen. The long and short of it is that. They were very near a thin place between realms, so this is between like the normal prime material, the material plane, and the Fey wilds. So you walk into the forest, you're accidentally in Fey realm, right? And they do that. They escape. They're told by Iskatov to get them some shit from Caras Tirmen if they're willing to do that. And he essentially says, "Yo, I'm part of this mage order," which I creatively named the Order of Mages and Artificers.
Huh.
And that regardless, he's like, I need these certain things. Basically, they're the spell books and magical components of Karrek Tirmen. Well, as they're on their way, they go through the forest and they get to this massive chasm, and on the other side is the foothills of Caras Tirmen, and there's these huge spider webs all over the place and massive spiders going everywhere.
Oh.
This is where the horse went,
Yep.
where we say the horse was slapped on the butt and Bill went home. Although I'm not actually entirely certain that's what happened. But that's what we're going to say happened.
Yeah.
So, somehow, they mind fuck these massive spiders, and now they're riding the spiders across the chasm,
Yeah.
fighting other spiders.
Yeah. I don't remember how that happened.
It's pretty wild.
I was pretty persuasive at that time too, wasn't I?
Yeah, I think this was a spell though, but I don't know. I don't know what it was.
Oh, it was. I could see it being Lenadar.
It's probably a charm or something.
Yeah.
Anyway, somehow that worked, and they bypass all that stuff. They get to the other side, and there's this. They have two options.
Has everybody eaten?
I did eat.
I know it's like 10. I was thinking if anyone wants food, we should probably deal with it now. rather than later.
Truth. Yeah. Otherwise, it's a Waffle House situation.
Do it.
I said, I haven't eaten this. Go on it. Go on it. Go
You
on
want to
it.
do an order?
Well, I mean, people want food.
I am solid, but you guys can
Do you want food? I don't care about you, but do you want food?
Well, I mean, I'll always eat if people are getting food anyway. So.
Yeah, I know.
I should theoretically probably eat another
It's
turn.
also like 10 though, and I'm like, do I want to eat this one?
Yeah.
I've got a figure I need to watch.
Just do some squats.
Yeah, it's true.
All right, so we'll.
I brought some like noodles with me. I can always just eat that. So, do you need food?
Yeah. Okay.
Alright.
No. Never mind. I'll just make a decision and say yes.
The only thing we would do would, because it's the only thing we could get this like would be pizza, and pizza will, make me feel gross about myself. So, anyway, go ahead.
All right.
I'll talk myself out of it.
You got me.
So
too.
they had two options. They could go the high road, where there'd probably be undead and all kinds of bad shit. There's also the low road where they could go through the dungeon. And the low road, they see a Drider. Now this Drider is Crystal, whose name looks really cool on paper.
I always want to call her Cristobal.
Cristobal would have been a better name.
Yeah.
Crystal's not a bad name.
I mean, isn't there like a champagne or something called Crystal?
There is.
Stripper.
Or a stripper.
Yeah.
So that's when they finally get to Caras Tirmen. You can do a little bit of since you know about Crystal, because that was actually weaving her.
Not really. I mean, Haygen didn't interact with her a whole lot.
You fought her.
Yeah, but I didn't know anything about her. Meaning, I could just tell you that she's a Drider. And
You know what she did?
do I?
You actually have two things, yeah. Two situations.
Well,
This is how it feels.
Haygen fought Crystal in
Episode 1.
the middle of 2019, so even further back.
Yeah.
That was in that pickup game that we played with Bad. All that I remember is that we
That's where Hagen came from.
that we came to that Stonehenge type place. There was someone else there and Crystal, and we fought Crystal, and my shovel did something magical that I didn't understand and drove her away, I think.
Yeah.
And she dropped a spider ring that I picked up and kept, and then I started having nightmares about spiders and tall grass, and that's all that I remember.
And then she ran through that big stone door.
Yeah, the stone door that was in the vision.
Well, much later, so like 3 years after that, Hagen had a dream, which Heiðr was part of,
And
Right.
Murad as well.
and Murad, and you guys you were in that same spot,
Yeah.
and that's where Cold Crow was.
Yeah.
Which was Ben's character. And he was all fucked up, and Hagen bashed his head in. And then you went through that door, and essentially saw what she did.
Yeah. Well, we went to the door and she was having a conversation.
Right.
Was that when she betrayed Corin? Not Corin. Corin. Nope. The sad boy with the
Where's
wings.
Corin?
With the what?
It was
Corin.
Corn.
Corin, yeah.
Corn.
Corin.
No.
No.
she
That's something
wasn't.
different.
She wasn't a Drider when they were. I think. She was made a Drider after that.
Oh,
That's like
okay.
ancient history style, like
Gotcha.
hundreds of years ago and shit like that.
Okay.
Because how old is Drow? How old is Heiðr?
242.
Yeah. So Driders can live. I don't know how long. So
Like a day over 225.
Thank you.
Anyway, you know, like very like Star Wars visiony. The idea was to show you. It actually was supposed to loop those things together, and say, hey, look, this is actually the plot that you would have eventually figured out.
Yeah.
Which it had to do with a big of that game.
Well, I mean, I played that character and I've now played that character in 3 different games that were all somehow part of the same story.
Oh, you mean the Ravenloft game?
No, I played Haygen in that pickup game with Bad.
Yep. Which is the Much Ado game.
The Much Ado, also
Yep.
the Much Ado game,
Yep.
and now this game. So I
It's either
played,
the girl game, the guy game. And
yeah, I've played
But-
Haygen in 3 games, same story, plus a Ravenloft game, which was both DM.
Right.
So really, he's played in 4 different games.
The difference though
That's the
is
same
that
story.
the Much Ado and then Much Ado the Dudes, because Much Ado
It was the
a girl-
same
was a girl
story,
game.
but
It was literally the same story.
it was 2 games, 2 different
Yeah.
games.
Yeah, it was 2 different games. Because you guys were literally like, you would do shit that would affect their game. They
I
would
wish
do
we
shit
had
that
caught up
affected
with them and been able to kill them.
you. Yeah, it'd been awesome. But they all, peaced
Yeah,
out.
and then I joined their game instead.
Anyway, so they met Crystal. They were like, fuck that Drider. And were told some shit about Caras Tirmen. There's a whole bunch of bad shit. They roll through the forest. There are these fucked up trolls, which they murder.
Right.
Yeah, I don't know why I remember all of this, because I was drunk for most of it.
Yeah.
Well, I used to remember everything with that Fallout game, but I was, blazed out of my mind for that.
To be fair,
Focus.
if you are currently drinking, you're gonna remember what you
Oh yeah, it's state of
experienced.
mind.
Yeah.
State of mind. That's why I'm drinking.
Hey, that'll probably help.
I have some wine.
I don't want.
Oh, would you like some more wine?
I'd rather not
You
switch
gotta butt chug it.
poisons right now.
So, they rolled out and they found this guy named Babadook.
Original.
I think his name's Babadook. Hey, girl.
Yep.
The... Fuck, what are they called?
Did he have a top hat?
No, the dudes that...
Rakshasa.
All black.
Rakshasa.
Oh, okay.
What was his name?
Baraduke.
Baraduke.
Oh.
Baraduke, not Babadook.
That's better.
Is Babadook a thing?
Yeah,
Yeah, it was
Babadook.
That's the thing.
a
That's the
movie
thing.
You ever
It
saw,
is?
yeah, it's
The
a horror
Babadook.
movie.
from
Yeah.
It's basically the boogeyman.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
How
I'm
do
sure
I
that
know
I know
this?
that because of
Yeah,
the
I'm
movie.
sure. Yeah.
But anyway, Baraduke was probably, that's just a bastardization of that. But that's like, did I make up Caras Tirmen? I mean, yeah.
Murad, I don't.
I made it up, but it's a riffing of this. It's a riffing of a common idea. Anyway. So they meet Baraduke,
Yeah.
who's really nice. Baraduke's, so Rakshasas. Would you like to talk about Rakshasas?
Rakshasas.
Rakshasa.
I'm good.
Help.
I've got something in my eye. I'm desperately trying to get out.
Rakshasas are fiends, so they're demons of a sort, and what they're real creepy. They're really high level. They're really bad dudes, and essentially, what?
Oh, I can smell that whiskey. Oh,
Oh.
Jesus Christ. It just always makes me sick when I smell it.
The idea behind them is, if you fuck with them, then like for generations they will fuck with your families. And at some point a long time ago, Iskatov, that mage, one of his predecessors, what is that called? Ancestors, had actually either killed or was responsible for killing Baraduke. The thing is about demons is they come back. If you don't kill them in a certain way, they come back.
Oh, in a certain way.
You gotta kill them
Noted.
in a certain way.
Thank you.
And the idea then
That
is
would help.
they didn't do that, or the tie that binds broke, or whatever it was. And technically, you can't kill demons. That's actually, even if you kill them in the right way, technically they're still around. But that's arguable. Point is, he wants to utterly destroy Iskatov. So what he says to them is, "Oh, you're gonna go to Iskatov." Oh, he's got like this cabin, like a mile outside of Caras Tirmen, and he hangs out. No one fucks with him because he's a big bad Rakshasa who's magic and shit. And their hands are backwards for some stupid reason. And they look like cats, right? Like anthropomorphic
Tiger
sort of. Yeah,
type?
tiger people.
Yeah.
They look like tiger people, but with human hands that are backwards.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Some weird curse, maybe? I don't know.
Again, I think it sounded cool when typing, and they're like, yeah, this is fucking creepy and crazy, ugh. And then someone drew it, and they're like, what the fuck? And
Yeah.
it kind of looks stupid. Anyway.
Well, how would they do anything? Like if their elbows still bend this way, but your
Yeah.
hands are backwards?
Yeah, their hands are just backwards.
Like how would you handle?
You gotta be real magic.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, they're weird. And you see like the D&D art of them, like samurai Rakshasas, and you're like, you know, it's like the
Yeah.
D&D second ed book. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Or the Barbarian. So there in the second edition of D&D, AD&D, there's I think it's the PHB, the Player's Handbook. It's either that or anyway, one of the books, one of the main ones. The art of it is this Barbarian Conan style with this huge sword about to like lay waste to some people. But if you pay attention to his hand, it's the wrong way. Like his hand's on backwards. So they just, whoever the artist was, just drew the fucking wrong hand. Which if you're an artist, that's actually a thing. You're like, ah, fuck, the thumb's upside down, you know?
Yeah.
Anyway, that's printed everywhere. So, the Rakshasa has like this nice little neat cabin. He's really polite to them. He gives them tea. And the only one of these players that actually knows what that is Bad, a.k.a. Ben, who's the Githyanki, who knows all the lore.
Yeah.
And he's like, we shouldn't fuck with this dude because I'm gonna kind of metagame. But at the same time, he's also that character. Kind of makes sense. In the back, the Rakshasa has a bunch of pigs. And they put together that the pigs are the people that fucked with the Rakshasa. And he turned them into pigs, and now he's feeding them to people. Also not creative, or not original, but it's kind of cool.
Spirited Away.
Huh?
Spirited Away.
I'm trying to find that picture.
There you go.
I'm sure other places do, but.
So, he says, look, I will help you. Here's all some information to get into Caras Tirmen.
He gave us stuff too.
He gave you a bunch of magic shit. And he said, all you gotta do for me is make sure.
See his hands on backwards.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, see, it's a thing.
Whoops.
Make sure that you actually fulfill your duty
There you go.
to Iskatov. Get him his shit.
Yeah.
However,
Let me know.
let me know before you give it to him. Because in the moment that you give him the shit, I'm going to be there. And I'm going to kill him. So it's this vengeance, right? Which you guys still, you know,
We haven't decided.
Baraduke still knows,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, he does. I'm aware.
Alright. They go up the way. They see the gates to Caras Tirmen, which the castle's not there. They realize, oh, you know, tomorrow is when the moon comes out, the purple moon, whatever the fuck it is. And at that point,
I know you're not going to move right now.
at that point,
Oh.
they'll be able to get through. And that's when they meet Mellowell.
Okay, yeah.
Because Mellowell, this warlock, had been camping outside of it for a while because her adventuring party had gone in there and they had all gotten murdered. She had all this PTSD. She was the only one who got out because basically she was too scared to go back in. She meets them. She's like, don't get near the gate. This whole thing. Jada comes out, she sees Jada, who's a big old Githyanki, and she's like, oh my god, the Githyanki are here. A fight ensues. Anyway, they get into Caras Tirmen. Now you gotta take some of this load, because I've literally...
That's what she said.
That's right. You gotta get on top of this, alright? I'm tired of being on top of it. See what I did there?
The older we get, you know,
See what I did?
we become bottoms slowly.
Okay. Just you wait. So, what had happened?
No one else was there. You gotta
I
pick up the slack here.
know No one else who's here was there.
Right.
That's the thing. You were just doing so well. So we were. This is actually the session that I missed. The one that I'm being asked to describe right now. I was not there for the Mellowell encounter or the fight.
Oh, the one afterwards.
We got in.
That's where you met the dark.
The Darklings.
The Darklings.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we get into Caras Tirmen, and there is like a super courtyard full of like, you know, normal castle stuff, like stables and yards and all this stuff. It's creepy because, you know, dungeon. And then we meet these Darklings. We don't fight them because
You persuade the shit out of them.
I persuade the shit out of them.
But if you remember, the entire courtyard is wrecked with this weird dust, which is the Grey Waste. Because you find out eventually that Castle Tirmen, it's not that it disappears, it's that it moves through the plains.
Right.
And so it had been to the Grey Waste and also to Modrus.
Right. Modron? I don't
Modron.
know. They both sound...
Modron.
Yeah, Modron. And so there were all these like weird robots that are all like fucked up and yeah, whatever.
Yeah. They were there
There
too.
were meteorites because of carcery.
Were they derelict? Like just
Yeah.
Yeah, they were destroyed. It looked like there had been a battle here because Sararith's entire family had fought here, and, which is why you found all the futuristic weapons, which is why Sararith...
Which
Is
she's
this
just
what?
got.
This is, yeah, they start seeing that trench warfare stuff.
Yeah. We eventually get there. But yeah, the Darklings, for some reason,
They're part of the Unseelie Court by the Summer Queen.
which...
There's a duck in that lamp.
Yeah, my uncle did that.
I've never noticed that in all these years.
I'm kind of glad I never looked up Modron. They're creepy.
Oh.
They are creepy as hell.
Oh.
I don't want that image.
Alright, go on, sorry, Andrew.
It's wearing a hat too. It looks like a doily.
Just wait for Friday.
Yeah.
You just wait. You just wait.
It can't get any worse. You already do
I
everything.
get a shovel.
Yeah.
Alright,
I'm
go on.
sorry. That's a water bottle. I just apologize to
Go ahead.
H2O. So, the Darklings are there. They give us a place to stay. They kind of tell us some cryptic stuff that doesn't make sense because we're all a bunch of noobs at that point. Warning us about the dangers ahead. We get our first look at the blood, the red cap technology mixing with the Modron stuff. There are pipes everywhere, really, really hot, and if you cut them open for science, they spray devastatingly hot blood on you. And it looks like that's what the castle's run on. We stay with the Darklings for like a day or so. We had to hide for some reason. I think the red caps were coming to get more technology. I don't know. Harvest more Modron parts from the field or something like that. And we start to make our way through the trench the trench battlefield of doom, where we all find a bunch of cool stuff. And then we get to a room that eventually leads us to Dav. We see Mellowell's dead party members. They're trapped.
You can have the rest of that, too.
And he's like,
I'm gonna try
move
after
the
this.
thing, and a spike comes out. And Dav's asleep under a table. Up top.
Yep.
And
Did you talk about the statues? Where you got your tattoos?
No.
And your resistance to poison, I believe?
I'm acid resistant.
Acid.
Yeah. Poison's from my ring.
So you hit it on the nail, by the way, because I was listening while I was peeing.
Good.
Must be a pretty weak stream.
Yeah. Well, I was doing it off the side. Because, you know, I know how to pee.
Soul and prostate. Trickle. Drip drip.
I just empty it. Out my mouth.
Ladies and gentlemen, my boyfriend.
Yeah, the red caps. So it's Theurgy, is what it is. So in DreadLore, hey, technology is, if it's clockwork, it kind of makes sense. But you know, like in steampunk stuff, how sometimes they'll integrate futuristic technology, like into the steampunk stuff. So it'll be like plasma cannons made of steam, right? And they like glow with some weird element. The idea of Theurgy is, I believe it's actually Egyptian mysticism. I think that's actually where I got the word. But it's technology that shouldn't work. Like, it should work, like a Rube Goldberg machine, it works. But then there's this one thing, it's like, yeah, but what about that part right there? How does it do the thing? And no one really knows. That's Theurgy. So that element of chaos, of magic or whatever, is the reason the thing works. So red cap technology is just Theurgy. They have harvested Modron stuff, which are living machines, and then used like malphasia, like corrupt blood magic, to make it do what they want. And it's all dirty and diesel-y and whatnot. And they were absolutely harvesting Modron parts. Yeah, like that's actually what, because at this point, the idea of Caras Tirmen being used like a Scud missile to attack heaven wasn't really in my head. It was moving through the planes. But it was building this idea of, well, they were going through the planes, and then eventually they put together, oh, we can use this stuff. So it was more of an organic idea.
Yeah, there was a tower with strings on it too, and I can't remember.
Yeah, those are silver cords.
Yeah.
Specifically, that's a pull from Jeff's game. So in Levied Souls, which is our buddy Jeff made this other game called Levied Souls, and one of his ideas dealt with the Grey Waste, and what it would be is, if you were a mage, then specifically a certain kind of mage, one that can like teleport and, you know, can go to the astral plane, the ethereal, and all that crap. The way you do that is you do a ritual, and you move into this sort of dead place called the Grey Waste, where soul, like a purgatory. And there, in this quasi-dimension, there would be these, every so often you could find these obelisks, these black rocks, and you would tie a piece of your soul to the black rock. So anywhere you were, it kind of anchored you, and that's how you knew how to navigate these other realms. It's kind of a cool idea. Not original, but again, nothing fantasy is original. So what that was it was an homage to Levied Souls, and also to the Silver Cord, which is a D&D thing. And the Silver Cord is, if you're a primer and you go outside of the prime material, there's a tether you have to the prime material. And it's, yeah, you're not really there, right? Like, even if you're materially there, or corporeally there, there's a place. And if that is ever cut, for example, by a fucking silver sword of a Githyanki, you die. Or something really, really bad happens to you. It's a pretty D&D thing. What type of being you are matters. And that ties into your alignment. So if you were neutral evil, you're going to go to the Great Waste when you die. If you're lawful evil, you go to hell. If you're lawful good, you go to fucking Mount Celestia or wherever the fuck. If you're an outsider, meaning that you're not from the prime, you're from the outside planes, kind of wherever you are, you're kind of not truly there. But if you're in your own plane of existence, then you can actually die. For example, the devils can't be killed. They just respawn in hell. But if you're in hell and you kill a devil, it actually dies. That's the whole thing. Cheers. I gotta keep it in my head, man. Come on now.
What?
It's just a lot of info.
It's a lot of info.
Yeah. I could like have math in there, but instead,
Let's not. I will
I
leave.
don't. I just don't. Okay, so you
This
meet
is
the
more fun than
Darklings.
math.
You meet the Darklings. You
Yeah.
befriend them.
Yeah, dude.
I can't remember the guy's name.
You got no idea. I can go get my notebook if you want.
I mean, you should have now. We're gonna get into this shit pretty soon. Go get your notebook.
I did say.
Your notes are good shit. I told you to bring it.
Did you?
Yeah, earlier.
Earlier.
Yeah.
You mean when I was working?
Yeah.
Okay.
In the middle of your work.
Right.
That's when I told you. Yeah, I guess I kind of forgot that the first half of the game, neither one of you were in. Oops.
And I'm not
Is-
in any of them, so.
Right. Is any of this interesting to you?
Yeah.
Is any of it interesting to either one of you?
I have a better understanding of what's going on in the game now,
That's good.
because I know, because you've now explained what's actually happening with Caras
Right.
Tirmen.
Right.
I actually know why it's moving and
Right.
all of that.
So one of the big things, which she technically knows, but
Are they just using it? Are they just literally slingshotting it into heaven?
yeah, that's what they're doing. Yeah.
Like the idea is just to fucking like just kick in heaven's door, miss the castle.
It's the plot of Armageddon.
Yeah, I get it. Now it actually makes sense. I didn't understand why they were doing that. Now it just does.
Yep, that is exactly what they're doing. It's
just
the
saw
Andromeda Soul,
Yeah,
or I'm sorry, Milky Way collision.
yeah. I
That
get
is
it now.
literally the plot of the game. So Caras Tirmen is being slingshotted.
That's not how you'd say it. But that's how I said it.
Slingshot.
Slingshot.
No, actually it is.
Slingshotted.
No, I
because
think
when-
it's
because
slingshotted.
the-
Slingshotted
because
better. Let's
it,
stick with
it
that.
actually was slingshotted.
Yeah,
Like that actually is the plot. Yeah.
yeah.
That's where
'Cause
I
that-
went.
that- remember
I
we
was
had the
like,
map?
have a solution.
And Poe was
Yeah.
sitting there and he was like, "Why? What
That
is
just
this
sounds like you're
force
something
thing?" And I was
different.
like,
So it's being
And then-
slingshotted
and she was
into
like, "Oh
heaven.
wait, it's slingshotted."
That's like something you
yes,
paid
it
for.
totally is.
Yeah.
Because the thing is,
Well,
it's
if somebody
moving
does.
along the wheel, and then what they
Oh
do
yeah,
is,
it's using that momentum to throw it.
well,
yeah.
they figure out a way to aim it.
Yeah.
That's the whole thing, and you have to have multiple places, like the fucking Stargate, to do it.
Are they just looking to destroy it, or are they looking to kick in the door so they
You-
can get in?
I mean, you have to know. This is part of your the dark.
Yeah,
The dark meaning secrets and the lore.
Oh.
That's the thing. You got to figure that out.
yeah.
Um.
All that matters is we know what they're doing.
Right. So yes, that is absolutely the plot, or I should say that's the story, like the big bad.
That's the MacGuffin.
Yeah, and well, the MacGuffin's the Playbill,
Oh,
which ironically, they got, and what the Playbill is it's words of creation, like you literally it's the
it could be
street,
used to just stop
all
it.
the world's a stage. I mean,
Yeah,
that's literally what the fuck it is. So in D&D terms, it's wish spells.
yeah.
That's it. They won't use them.
Yeah, it could be used to just put a stop to it.
I would make it that easy, but
To do things that could.
I mean,
What?
that's outside the bounds of a
Yeah.
wish spell. But
What are those supposed to be?
Well, they're there so we can do things with them,
Oh.
but
I thought we were supposed to.
they're the most powerful spell in the game, save for miracles. Like you could use them to, I don't know, raise Arlo from the dead.
No, you told me there were.
She has a curse.
Things.
If you did it, then
Yeah.
you could figure out what the thing is.
Right.
It's a
Durgan
bit-
and Mather.
Durgan.
Durgan.
Yeah, those are the names of the Darklings.
Oh
Oh,
wow.
well, that's where this
That's
fucking
where,
name
that's where,
came
that's where the name came
Holy
from.
shit.
That's his character's name in my Star Wars game.
Well,
Oh.
It's spelled it's spelled differently.
Well, I probably didn't get it right.
yeah,
so-
I never tell people how to spell it.
Nope.
Holy shit. Yeah.
Wow.
That's the
Well,
thing, a
it's
lot of this
supposed
stuff is recycled.
Durgan's name's actually spelled. It should be pronounced Diargan.
Really?
Dirgan. It's got an I in
Dirgan.
it. It's got an I in
Dirgan.
it.
Durgan.
Diargan. I mean, it's Diargan.
Durgan. Durgan.
I was gonna say
Dirgan.
It's Irish.
Well, no, but he's not Irish, though. He's Australian.
Yeah, Dirgan.
Oh.
It's Dargan.
Dirgan.
Y'all are great at accents.
Nah,
Maybe
it's
it's-
fine. It's fantasy.
Dargan.
No, vowels don't
Yeah,
work the
I
same
say
way.
Dargan.
Fantasies don't work the same way, or vowels don't work the same way in fantasy.
Hoover. Dargan.
Yeah.
It's a, you do that.
Be
Just
disgusted.
just mimic my Liam Neeson voice.
The Liam Neeson voice was really good. Anyway, so they meet the Darklings. They're scared of the Red Caps because they have like, what are those little, what are those machines that have like that? They look like little tanks, and they've got like a
In the real,
a bulldozer
the real
thing.
world.
Skid steers.
a skid steer.
Oh, okay.
It looks like a skid steer made for World War One. And it has like a 1 pound cannon on it.
Yeah.
And there's this
1
big
pound
old
cannon.
there's this big old fight.
Just it's
It's a
tiny.
1 pound gun.
Yeah, just little.
I mean, it's a
Look at that.
pound fucking.
I know.
That was a thing.
I know. It's just funny to me.
So this whole deal, they met these. They found these huge statues of Eladrin. It turns out that they were the 4 seasons. So the 4 seasons. Imagine each one is a spirit. So the spirit of spring, the spirit of whatever, and a shard of them.
Yeah.
A
Shit.
piece of them, indeed, was gifted.
You like that?
Yeah.
Yeah. Glad that's
Well,
good for
what
you
is
too.
it?
If I forget to take notes, I note the fact that I've forgotten to take notes, or that I didn't feel like taking notes.
Yeah, it just says at 1:10:21 I forgot to take notes. 1:31:21 I didn't feel like taking notes.
So this is what you're doing. You're like, yeah, I'm doing this.
I was very honest.
Drawing dick pics over here.
1:24 I missed this game.
Yeah.
Back to back.
Yeah.
Missed it and then didn't take notes.
Yeah, I mean, we're fucked. As if I have to describe
Yeah.
this stuff, I'm gonna be just interpretive dancing with lore.
So the idea was, they found these statues, and this was sort of a theme in this part of the game where they'd find a statue and there's always like some secret inside the statue or whatever.
Yeah.
These statues, they figure out that when Karrek Tirmen, who is a LeShay, so long and short of LeShay lore as no one knows, they're from an alternate dimension. These elf-like beings that are immortal. And something happened, their dimension was destroyed, and only a few of them are in the world. So he is one of them, and his family are one of them. Basically what I've done with that is said, the LeShay came to ruin partially because of what is happening in this game. Or what happened, and this has to do with it. When they had the dream and they went to that ancient city, it was the first city of the LeShay. And it's in Arborea, in Feyland,
Well, that's the city from the vision, yeah.
and that's the city.
Yeah.
That is the first fucking city. It's like Nod.
That we weren't in.
I mean, essentially that's what it is. It's Nod, right? So the idea was in the God Court, and we're in a lot of the Summer Fey and the fucking whatever Fey, whoever they are, they were all there, Feying out.
Yeah, they were.
Karrek Tirmen was so good, very Sauron style story. So Corellon, I think that's his name.
Corellon.
Corellon.
Ay.
Corellon rewards Karrek Tirmen and the Galahans and all of them and their entire populace with these 4 spirits
Oh shit, I really did write that down.
that represent spring, summer, fall, and winter.
Yeah.
Well, when Karrek starts going all religious, because Vecna's fucking with his head, one of the things that eventually occurs is he's cut off from the courts, the heavenly courts, and it's all ripped away from him. But those spirits, essentially because, at one time they were great, as in Tirmen was a great person. So they stuck it out. They were still in his service, so to speak. And elves from all around, and people all around would come to this place. But over a long time, eventually it starts getting debased. This is the tale of Caras Tirmen. Until eventually it goes into ruin, and some bad thing happens, and it is schismed to roam the multiverse. It just disappears. Well, what really happens is he does a big old fucking spell that releases it from this dimension, and it's flying through goddamn space, right? The Red Caps turn these statues into big automatons using red cap technology.
It's pretty
And
nasty.
the fuel is the souls of these spirits. They free them. They find all this shit out. Magical fucking tattoos.
One of them does.
Right.
The rest tried to kill us.
Well, until you free them.
Right. Until Poe freed him. Yeah, the spring statue was the one that gave us our gifts.
Oh, that's how everybody got those tattoos that do different
Right.
things.
Yeah.
Right. That's why they have the game-breaking tattoos.
Yeah.
Although
So-
I've never used mine.
You will.
What's yours?
Acid.
Acid.
Oh yeah, because yours is acid, Dav's is fire, and what is Poe's?
Didn't Poe get something stupid like force?
Force is amazing.
That's why
Did you randomize it?
It was random.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think people doubled up. Anyway, Dav was met at this point. They found him under a table.
Well, that means that Poe would have been resistant to those Hell Knights and their force abilities.
If he has force, then yeah. No,
He might have
force,
something else.
force, sonic, and psychic are like hands down the best.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because pretty much nothing does that. Okay. Any
Psychic,
questions?
it's very rare to be resistant or immune to psychic damage.
Yeah.
Not even barbarians are resistant to it.
I mean, it's that. Talk about MacGuffins.
It
Yeah.
requires a tinfoil hat.
Yeah, it's your brain.
So, that should be a fucking magic item. Tinfoil hat.
You need.
Thank you.
I need
That's a
one
good
that
idea.
makes me resistant to it, though I'm resistant to everything.
You need what?
I need something that makes you resistant to psychic damage, so I'm resistant to
Check
everything.
all the boxes.
I think that's a really cool plot point.
I need to be invincible.
I don't think it's something that. It's not a.
That way I can kill Dav.
It could be a magic item. I'm serious. It could be a magic item, but I think it's something that he would have to find a quest for, and or like there needs to be a good reason.
I mean, Haygen doesn't. Haygen would have no way of knowing that that's what he needs, or that he's not resistant to that.
Well, he knows that something hurts him,
Yeah, but he doesn't
and he knows
really.
that thing hurts him, and he can talk.
That's the only time. It's only happened once thus far.
Gonna happen more. Especially when you find some fucking mind flayers, because Karrek Tirmen is all about the mind flayers.
Yeah, he is.
Right.
Anyway. I
So-
digress.
They realize that actually at this point in the game, that the first few layers of Caras Tirmen is run by an ultralithid, which is like a super mind flayer.
Yeah.
There's all kinds of mind flayers. They're slavers, basically. And they have an elder brain. If you watch, Critical Role, you know about this. That controls all this shit. They have a bunch of slaves. And so they try to avoid them like the plague. They're met by this really lightning fast elf boy, and who wants them to talk to his mistress, whose name is Quick. That was Duvall, I believe his name. Anyway,
Yeah.
so they're told to go to this underground place to actually get into Caras Tirmen, as in to actually get down into it. And that's where they find all these trenches.
Yeah. Shit, man. I know. I got better.
I'm
Alright,
just
Free.
so this is essentially when we get into a pretty hefty slog of dungeon crawl.
You mean the most heinous thing you could have thrown at us at that level?
You mean a mummy lord?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
I have written in parentheses level 15
yeah, he's pretty bad.
because you made sure we were aware of the fact that we were about to die. I think we were like level 6 at that point.
He was pretty bad.
Yeah. It was good. It was good.
Okay,
Yeah, explain that.
it was funny. So, Jodok finds a particle cannon and then left the game.
Yep.
Because he's got commitment issues. Fucking douche. Anyway, I had a lot of fucking story for that motherfucker. Anyway,
I believe it.
any DM knows the feel.
Oh, I know it. I mean, it happens in every game
And you're
I've
just like,
ever ran. It
why'd
happens
you quit?
with some character. Either they quit or they
Don't
check
show up.
out like mentally from the
Yeah.
game, and they won't play their own story.
Right? Then they have the gall to bitch about it happening. in
But
their
that's what
game.
happened in my Fallout game. Was I had two characters in particular, two players who wouldn't role play, and then they would bitch about not having scenes.
Right.
It's like, well,
Right.
So-
He's talking about me.
no, I'm not.
very hard
He
to
knows
believe.
who I'm talking. He
Yeah.
knows who I'm
Yeah.
talking
Yeah.
about. So.
So, they go into the underground. Please go ahead. You have your notes.
Where are your? Oh, you do have yours.
I'm not even looking at my notes because I remember.
I'm
probably
so.
I bet Poe would be here like, what, you forgot?
Yeah.
All the shit.
I was
I'm like,
gonna say-
yeah, I did.
Poe is the one that knows everything.
He really does know it.
He
He just
forgets
remembers
nothing.
it all.
Yeah.
It's pretty
terrifying.
stupid.
Um.
I haven't even looked at my notes, which is actually pretty par for the course.
We're told not to mess with graves. That's the mummy lord.
Oh, the not Transcendent Order. That's a
Mummy
faction.
Lord.
Yeah. We try to free Khalif. We read her scroll to enter exile, and open her tomb. But the bodies had been switched, and instead of Khalif being in her tomb, it was a Mummy Lord.
This was the daughter,
Oh,
the cursed daughter
correct.
of Karrek
Yeah.
Tirmen.
The one that sided with the Galahans.
Yeah, the Galahans. Yeah.
Galahans.
By the way, at some point in all of this, did they start finding bits and pieces of the Wand of Orcus? And I bring in another artifact, which is the Wand of Woe, I think is what it's called. All of that's been forgotten, but they technically have all these fucking items.
So you have the Wand of Orcus and you have an Axe of Orcus?
Yeah.
No. The wand.
Well,
Dav
Axe
had,
was part of Orcus too, right?
Dav had a knuckle bone of Orcus that had been fashioned into an axe, and part of Karrek Tirmen's staff was using a jewel from the Wand of the Orcus.
Yeah.
Which, that's a pretty D&D
it's
tropey
still
thing.
an
where
axe
you-
made from Orcus.
Yeah.
Right.
So.
Still. Yeah.
The Wand of Woe had to do with those nuggets of goodness. It's like it would suck up your charisma that Quig had.
Oh. Yeah.
And that was a whole fucking plot that Linadari found out, got all the shit, was like, ha ha ha, and pieced out with.
Yeah.
That wand literally allows you to plane shift anywhere. Like, that was like totally a MacGuffin of, oh, you can go anywhere now. And she fucking pieced out with it.
Shame.
Because she quit the game.
All the vitriol's coming out tonight.
This is not vitriol.
Tonight.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. Usually I do it during the game.
Well, but I just keep hearing like that. I'm just getting right. Anyway, 124.21. I missed this game. 131.21. I did not feel like taking notes. However, how was this on 1-7? At a later time.
Probably meant 2-7.
Yeah, I think you're right. Dav and Poe have a situation with 3 huge rats. You remember the big rats?
Oh, the RUSSs? I don't think they have
What?
I'm quoting a movie.
So this was where scorpions
Yeah, this
first
is where Scorpions come
took
from.
place. Oh no.
So you find Quig, she's using the red doors.
Yeah, and we're trying to figure out what the blood webs are and all this stuff.
So
and
she
how to
paints a
use the
door.
doors.
Basically, if you've seen Pan's Labyrinth, she paints blood on a wall and can move through it and create her own little gateways.
Yeah. So we're in this room, and there's a huge red symbol on the ground.
Yeah.
And we're
Does
like,
not
hey.
look like a summoning symbol at all.
Not at all. And we're like, hey, something could probably move through that. And then stuff in the room starts, happening. And as a lovely distraction, our 2 smallest members of the team, Dav and Poe, have to take on rats bigger than themselves.
Would you like the last of those?
No, I'm good. Because I got to drive to North Carolina to get this.
Oh, you do? You're going up tonight?
Yeah.
Oh.
It's tomorrow's Tuesday. I watch my nieces.
Do you normally go up this late?
No, usually I go up way earlier, but they were doing stuff.
Oh, okay.
So I was just going to hang out and
Yeah, happy
Tis a
4th of
holiday,
July.
yeah.
I guess we should say
No,
that.
fuck America.
No,
it's
we
birthday.
have.
Hey!
What time are you gonna leave?
Probably.
Well, I like
I
America.
mean, like, maybe 15
Cheers.
minutes.
Okay.
Maybe a little bit longer.
America's okay when it's used the way it's supposed to be.
Not taking people's rights.
It's a great land.
America has some serious fucking problems, and I
The land
agree
itself
with
is
you
lovely.
on this. I agree with you.
We have beautiful
There's
trees.
some horrible
It's
shit
cool
going
rock.
on.
I just
very
refuse to
beautiful.
celebrate its birthday right now.
That's okay.
She's being a bitch, so.
I've just lived in communist China for 4 years, and
Yeah.
Didn't have to follow the rules.
that was pretty awful.
Anyway,
Yeah. No. Yeah.
All right.
I'm gonna mutter into my book some more.
Muta.
It felt lovely.
Muta, Dino Muta.
Mutter so hard. Anyway, so there's something happening with the floor. And
Demon pops out.
well, first, Heiðr had the grand idea of like ripping clothes off and drenching them in poison and throwing it over the thing.
This is before you knew demons were
Right.
immune to poison.
Right, this is how I found out. This was the beginning of the phrase scorpions. Because I did that, and nothing happened. We still had to deal with the big rats. And then I had an idea at the same time, and there was this door, and there was skittering behind it, and I was like, I bet it's scorpions, and I'll just open the door and hold the bag holding up, and they'll just fall in, and I can harvest their poison later. It'll be good. Scorpions don't necessarily have to walk on the ground. They can, like, skitter up walls and stuff. So I opened the door and
Indeed.
loose
Can I? Oh, okay.
scorpions upon the party who was fighting big rats and a demon coming out of the floor. So we start getting poisoned.
It was pretty funny.
It was pretty bad. It was pretty bad.
It was a good idea. You got some scorpions.
I got some
Really,
scorpions.
the actual scorpions came from a string of misadventures.
Yeah.
It was that.
I just had like great decisions one after the other. Because I didn't know how D&D worked.
They were good ideas. It's just that it either wouldn't completely come to fruition or something. Because then you got a bunch of scorpions.
I did.
Because you were like,
Fuck yeah, I did.
damned if you were
Almost
not going to get a
died
bunch of
for
scorpions.
them. Yeah.
Well, what she didn't know was a bag of holding only has so much air. So eventually, when she was like, I'm going to sick these scorpions on my enemies, and a bunch of dead
Oh,
scorpions.
dead ones.
Yeah.
Which is funny.
Yeah, I found things out.
That's the same session, I think, that there's another hidden door.
That was my nope door.
Right, the note door that smelled,
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure it was described as just foul batol.
I think you said decaying batol.
Right.
Yeah.
And Jodek's like, I'm going to go down there, and they see some magic
He
items
loves Batol.
in this,
They do.
yes he does, in this pool of water, and he's like, wee! And it's a pool of acid.
Yeah.
Oh.
And I was like,
Yeah.
really? He's like, wee! He just goes down in it. Because this is the same dude
Yeah.
who's like, wait, what's that monster?
Well, I
My
noped
character
it
doesn't
so
know
hard.
it's a challenge, and then just happens to go over there.
I think because I noped it so hard, it made him cocky.
Right.
Because I opened the door and you explained how it smelled, and I went, no.
He took so much damage.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah.
Because there was what is it? Is it chud or chum? That you
Chum.
feed sharks.
Chum.
Chum.
It was chum everywhere, because they fed the demon. And then when all the shit was done, they would throw it in the acid pit and it would smell, right?
Right.
That's my idea. I don't actually know if that would happen or not. Anyway, fumes. So he's like, oh, I'm gonna go down there and get that magic item or two from whatever poor soul was thrown into the pit. And he did. And he's like, just took. So I actually thought he was gonna die.
Did he get the magical items?
He did. He got him
Yeah.
out, and I'm pretty sure they helped him a lot.
What was the staff of power
Oh yeah, the staff of power.
that you
That's
gave
such a,
Lenadari?
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
such
she got a fucking staff of power and started wrecking shit.
That's a very Dark Souls thing to do, to put magic items in like a place like that where you've got to. Have any of you played those games?
Yeah.
fucking
I mean,
hated those games.
You've basically got to dive into
I didn't
full of
hate them.
acid to
I
find something.
like them, but
Yeah.
they're so
So they go through. This is the game that
It's so
Telvin.
frustrating.
Die.
So
Oh,
many
he
times.
played
Yeah,
this?
Yeah.
Telvin played one session. It was this session
Huh.
where they roll through this little alley.
Did he get mad?
No, he's fine. He played like a samurai. He went through this
Of course he
alley.
did.
They got stuck to the floor because of these like runes of sticking or something. Insanity ensues. They go down this like spiral tunnel.
DC 28. Man, you really hated us.
Yeah, I did. The long and the short of it was this. They eventually get to this room that has a big, like, imagine like a Egyptian hieroglyphics with, except it's a relief, so it's like cut into the stone,
Yeah.
right? And it's all these people mourning, and it's this mausoleum-looking place. Well, the thing is, if you go to the door, you walk through the door, but what everyone sees is your body just go to the ground, because your soul walks through the door, leaving your body,
Alright.
and you're stuck in there. So,
Yeah.
Chuck was
was.
playing. He was playing his character, Quirion,
Yep.
which again, it sounds good written on paper, or it looks good written on paper. Then you say it out loud. It's like, my name's Queer Ion.
Queer Ion.
It's like, wait, your name.
These names that are difficult to pronounce.
Right.
And they.
And spelled weird.
Yeah, he
He's
always.
like, no, it has a T in the beginning.
He always
What?
does that. Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, so your name is Queer Ion. Queer Ryan. No, it's
Queer
Queer
Ryan.
I was like, I think your name's Queer Ryan, which is fine. But are we gonna call you Ryan or Queer? Whichever one we call it.
Do
It's
we
too good.
still have that mirror? Huh. The one that Poe got sucked into, and I had to
Oh, yeah.
astral save
Right.
his ass.
At the bottom of the screw tunnel was a mirror of life stealing.
We had a rough.
They're like,
Why are
level
you
five.
getting so much joy out of
Because that's really fucked up. That's like such a fun DM thing to where you just because
just killing his players right in front of left.
Because it's old school. Like,
yeah, it's
that's-
old school.
Yeah.
It's
So-
2E bullshit that you just
It's
like
so-
can't escape. That it's like if they do this, they die.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So in,
We sure
in,
did.
in Harry Potter, the first movie, and I didn't read the first book. In the first movie, I read the third. I started on the third book. The first and second book, and go suck my dick. I was fucking like 15 years old, man. I didn't give a shit about this. Third book beyond.
Judging
Fine.
15-year-old.
Well, I was actually Harry Potter's age.
Because when did those books first come out?
Like
Wasn't it?
91,
90, yeah.
93, something like that.
Yeah, they came out in 93 because they came out a year before.
Yeah, I was actually his age. But when they got popular,
Because they take place in the 80s, right?
Yeah.
I think it's in 9.
Does it take place when the
Yeah.
books came out?
Pretty sure.
Okay.
I think. So the
Well,
first.
the Battle of Hogwarts was like early 90s, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, a
it-
little bit of
It
both.
would have
So
been.
like the 80s
yeah.
and early
Right.
90s. Yeah.
So the first book.
I don't know the lore.
The
that
first
well.
book. I mean, it's a
I've read the
children's
books,
book. The second book is a children's book. It's basically the first
but
book.
the first two are children's
They're
books.
children's books.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The third book, it's like she was like, oh, holy shit, this is popular, and started making like writing higher level.
Yeah.
She now likes to say that was done on purpose so that the books would age with the children.
She likes to say a lot of stupid
I know.
shit, though, so
I know.
about all sorts
I
of
love
things.
J.K. Rowling, however,
How,
Oh.
she definitely was making this shit up. It is J.K. Rowling, right?
yeah.
Yeah. I don't know, she's a
doesn't know the
shit.
rest.
We're just
she's a
cringing
shit
at how
human.
awful a person
really?
she is.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah, she's like a turf
Transphobe
and all
and-
sorts
yeah.
of other horrible shit.
Turf.
Yeah.
It's a woman who refuses to recognize trans women.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't.
She doesn't think that they deserve the same accommodation as a real woman. It's what they term a real
98 is when
woman.
it took
That's
place,
what a
not
turf
early
is.
90s.
Yeah.
What is it?
Yeah, it's pretty
98
fucked up.
is when it took place.
Oh, shit.
98.
Not early 90s. So he probably went to school in 92.
Oh.
Okay, I'm sorry. Math is hard.
Well, regardless, I knew none of that. Point! In the end of that movie, that big mirror that Harry Potter looks
Mirror
in,
of
Erised?
Erised.
Yeah.
that is a mirror of life
Yeah.
stealing. That's actually what the fuck that is. Someone's gonna be like, no, it's not. Actually, no one's going to because they're not gonna watch this. But that's what it was, except they made it kind of like good. So a mirror of life stealing is the exact same thing as that. It's just that you go into a mirror universe and your soul's sucked in.
Yep.
Right? It's an old school D&D idea.
Yeah.
Okay.
Somehow had a robe that would go get him though.
Well,
Somehow.
you had gotten that robe.
It's like he knew it was going to be needed.
Yeah.
Well, I didn't know if they'd actually look into it, and I gave them a few. I gave them several chances. This is the fun of DMing for people that are new to the game,
Oh yeah.
because when
We had
Dav,
such trust in inanimate objects.
Yeah, you get to. Yeah, I love it.
well now eventually when you get to that true murder hobo level,
Which I think we're now at.
you have the 11
I
foot
don't think
pole.
we're murder hobos.
You have the 11-foot pole.
Davin wants to be, but
Yeah.
You guys know why it's an 11-foot pole? Nigel does. Do you know why it's an 11-foot pole?
10 would be too short.
Well, why would it though? 'Cause it's 10-foot range. You have an 11-foot pole because on the D&D squares,
Way darker
it's in
than that.
5-foot increments.
yeah.
So you have the 11-foot pole, so you're in.
It's two bodied.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the way it is. Dav, I described a room where they roll in. I described there's a desk, there's the chairs, there's the beakers of all kinds of potions and whatnot that are definitely going to explode. And then there's a coat rack with a coat on it. And he's like, I put on the cloak.
Is that the cloaker?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It's totally a cloaker. It was
Yeah.
just a being that fucking eats your head. In Red Sonja, I'm pretty sure, they have cloakers.
Yeah.
And that's a fucking cloaker. If you want to see Red Sonja, anyway, like basically like a Conan movie. That it's not a Conan movie. It's basically.
Did you have ordered food?
No.
Okay,
You can
so
order food if you're hungry.
we're almost actually to
Right now.
your guys' characters.
This is also true.
Wait a minute, you were in the game.
Not yet.
Not yet. Not
Because
until
we're not
after
to the
soul
Astro
door.
Shark yet.
No, not till after the soul door.
Really?
Oh, I know exactly when I came in.
Did she join just before I did?
Pretty close. Was I dead when you joined?
His name was Shira.
Yeah, well,
I know.
you'd gone through the soul door.
Shira?
We unburied
Telvin's name was
Shira.
Shira.
Straight from Masters of the Universe.
Yeah.
From He-Man. Let's see. Poe Pappy is in here.
Poe Pappy.
So
I want to start
Malfrey.
calling him Pappy.
Yes.
Yeah, Pappy Poe. So
Oh my.
Quarion, 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 his love interest was Lauren Malfrey. And this was a really cool thing that Casey did and Lauren did. They tied, so Malfrey...
Did Lauren play in this game too?
Yeah, she played several
In
times
the
in the game.
beginning, yeah.
She was playing a drow who was a cleric, so a divine priestess.
Yeah.
Except usually drow are evil, but she was a cleric of light, of healing. And so she had gone good, and it inspired her character to actually go good. But that was all done in retrospect.
Yeah.
Because when she made her character, Malfrey wasn't a thing.
Yeah, she wasn't in the game anymore.
Yeah. It was this whole thing. It was pretty cool.
Yeah.
I
I was learning how
Jakral
backstories
was in the
are
game at this
important.
point.
No, he wasn't.
No, that's in April.
Yeah.
We're
We're in February right now.
okay. Hold on.
February 21.
So Shira is where Telvin was there. Shiro, sorry, not Shira.
Whoa.
Shiro.
Promises.
I know. God, they found so much. That had such a cool bad guy.
I
Good
befriended
guy.
a sea spawn named Ed. Whoa.
Yeah, the sea spawn. You don't remember the
Sea
sea spawn?
I remember Ed.
Okay, so this leading down to the soul room. Sararith wasn't in the game yet.
No.
No. I literally came in after the soul room. Well, during the soul room.
Yeah, you're right. That was in March 14th. Wait, is that St. Patty's Day? When is St.
No,
Patty's Day?
that's the 17th.
17th.
Yep.
Okay. So this is your first person, and Linadari was in the game, but Emma was not there. Okay. So they go to the soul room. This is after
The Sucking Temple.
the Sunken
Sucking
Temple.
Temple?
Sucking.
I want to go to the Sucking Temple.
All right.
I did say
Emrys,
it like
Gork
that.
Gork.
Emrys, you
Yes.
tell them about the Sucking Temple.
Oh,
with the Sucking Goddess.
The Temple of Suck.
The Temple of Suck.
to see what happens when a man and a woman despise each other just enough.
Suck.
They suck.
I'm glad I wasn't there for that because I don't like sunken things.
It was a cool thing.
I have
You don't like sucking
I have
things?
that phobia of submerged like places and things, deep
Oh.
waters and creatures in
Do you
water.
Well, I would have
Yeah.
made it fun for you
Yeah,
because
I
I
have-
befriended everything down there.
And
Yeah.
that's why this Cthulhu game that I'm writing is going to have a lot to do with that stuff, so that I can scare myself.
That's very HP book.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
Okay, so they go down the corkscrew stairway
and I'll die.
into the
Yeah.
sunken temple. I'd forgotten.
Yeah. 8 sea spawns appear. I convinced them not to attack and break your encounter.
Yeah.
Thank you.
There's the place where you have to dive down and go through the underwater place,
Yep.
which is of course where you have to go. And then there's the room.
Oh man, and
And if you go in the room,
Oh, and the
it starts
chains.
filling up with water and you fucking die.
Right.
Unless you get out. And I can't remember how they got out.
We used the chains. We were swinging on the chains to find like a lever.
Quirion
thing.
and Malvery came down that way.
They fell down that way.
Yeah, because they came into this underwater port. They found all these crates of loot, which they were like, don't fuck with it. They found this undead woman who was going to be an NPC, who was a higher level cleric than you all. Were named Lerbel and a Eladrin honor guard at the docks. and she was going to be like their person, and they're like, no, we shouldn't disturb this.
No.
And then
Yeah.
Don't call Tubby away.
Rainbow.
I'm touching Tubby.
Rainbow
right
D.
now.
You're touching Tubby.
She's not that tubby.
She's
She's lost
getting
weight,
better.
motherfucker.
I love it when she lays on her back and you can rub that tub.
Yeah. She's like, I'll do it.
Come here.
She was like 14 pounds. She's like,
Is she still limping?
yeah.
She looks.
She's like 12 pounds now.
She gets better and then she overextends it outside and comes back.
She only
down
weighs
again.
12 pounds.
She's a 12-pound cat.
12-pounder.
She's
show,
a,
the,
she's,
show the stream the cat.
she's a pretty big cat.
You can pick her up.
I was gonna say, is she
I'm
a
surprised she
quarterback?
weighs
She's
that
calico.
little.
She's fine. I mean, she's got teeth.
Because
and
Leica
claws.
weighs more than that. So
Ooh,
Leica
Lily. Hi, cat.
was all cats are all
She's like
26 pounds. Big boy.
26.
Yeah, he was a 26-pound cat.
You can hang out. I don't give
Yeah.
a shit. Cats are
And
allowed
you didn't see him a
anywhere.
lot. Remember when he was running
Yeah.
that one night and screaming? He would run from one end of the con to the next, and he'd sound like a horse, and he would go, "Row, row." That's what he sounded
Was
like.
he having it?
Hello?
Uh-huh.
It was.
Oh my
gosh.
Yeah. It was
Cat, what are you doing? Stop fucking with that.
She's snoofing.
Okay.
Our setup.
So they roll into this place. They almost get drowned. Dav
Yep.
almost gets drowned with, I think, Poe.
Yep. I save a shark from getting poisoned.
There's a whole thing.
With an
They go.
astral
They,
shark.
they murder the shit out of everybody.
Yeah.
They swim down the thing where they can drown.
We run away from the sea spawns.
There are sharks down there
Yeah.
that are attacking them.
Yeah.
But of course, Emrys or Heiðr befriends one.
Not the druid. Just vision work.
Did you have a druid?
That actually happened later.
Oh, Linadar wasn't a druid. I was the dead druid. Never mind.
So they pop out. They get to the soul door.
Yep.
They find the other mage.
Two of us go through the soul door, right?
This is Quirion and you.
Yeah.
They find the other mages too. This guy's name is Conadu.
Mm-hmm.
He wakes up. He's a goddamn lich.
Yeah, that was
and
bad.
he's fucking pissed. And he's coming. He's hateful towards Tirmen, so he's been locked away. This plot was never heard from again. They just don't follow it whatsoever.
We ran so hard away from
They
him.
ran the fuck away
Well,
from
witches are scary.
They
Well,
were
he's
so
scary.
scary.
But he's also the lich who hates the big lich.
But we didn't know that until right now.
Right.
So,
That's because you ran away.
whoops.
You were like, oh! It's fucking
Well,
he's
he's,
the fucking.
well,
I
he's
mean-
still out there somewhere.
He
Yeah.
is out there somewhere.
To be
Well,
fair,
we do. The Lich Queen does want an audience with us.
It's true. And a Morpheus, who was the other
Perhaps we
lich,
should
who was
interact
like
with
sort
more
of Karrek Tirmen's accountant. Linadari had his book. There's all this necromancy shit, and all she fucking ran.
Yeah, I
off
mean,
with it.
if Vecna's the bad guy, we should probably.
Necromancy is obviously a theme.
We
of
should
the
probably entertain
Didn't
the other
know that.
liches because it's like making the enemy of your enemy your friend.
Poe has Vecna's, or he had Vecna's hand
Yeah.
and eye.
not hand.
He had the. No, he didn't.
He has
We
his
were
own.
going. We had the statue's hand,
The
and
statue's
we
hand.
were going to replace Karrek's hand because it's on Karrek. Karrek has
That's
Vecna's
right.
hand, and we
I thought he lost it.
we had a plan to teleport through and chop it off, and whoop,
Oh yeah.
and then you were like, that would never fucking work.
Yeah. it would-
We're gonna replace it with the stone hand.
Anyway,
Yeah, we're noobs.
So-
we don't know.
they run away.
This was
They're
early.
getting attacked by sharks.
Yeah.
Emrys or Heiðr is like, fuck it, I'm gonna take this shark.
Well, Linadari poisoned the water, so
right.
they started
and
dying,
the shark
and I
is
was
gonna
like,
die.
mm,
So she
can't do it.
plane shifts into the
That
astral
was
realm
after.
with the shark. She saves the shark, and we have a really cool soundtrack for this, which we cannot play
Yeah, but it's
because of
so
copyright
Good.
shit.
It's so good.
However,
I'm building up an astral shark army with which to defeat my foes.
It's really good.
Yeah, he's actually been surprisingly helpful when I go to the astral plane. Like he just shows up and
Yeah, it talks just like, hey there.
Yeah.
Anyway.
It's good to know he has a mouth like
Yeah,
that.
he does. Sararith came in sometime. Because they stopped coming, because
Right.
he wouldn't leave
They got-
Malvray.
Yeah.
So they're back in Caras Tirmen if they ever show up.
You've had a long weekend. It's fine.
I've had a
Just go
great
here.
They wind around, and we're going to get through this real quick.
Yes.
You find Sararith because they find this big black pool, and it's a big orb of annihilation, basically. Sphere of annihilation. They find Sararith. How did they find you?
So my character was a mercenary, and I guess it was also a part of Craster, but a different part of Craster that they're from.
I guess it was.
That's
Because I was telling you about it.
It was like an alternate Craster.
Right, like an alternate Craster.
Okay.
Right? D&D Craster, whatever.
Gotcha. Well, so there's technology
It was
and
a
all this
different
kind of
time.
stuff.
Is
If
what-
it was, I asked if it was the same Craster, and you said no. It was
Yeah, I
different.
know, but I wasn't. I was either making it up or not.
That makes more sense that you're from a
Yeah,
different time.
it's a different time.
Or a
Because
different-
Craster lasts for
different
like fucking
period of
millions
time.
and years or whatever.
Okay.
That's what it was.
Point being, I come from an era with technology and all this kind of stuff, and I'm a mercenary, and
The
my
era of whoa.
my clan is in a battle with another rival clan, and then all of a sudden, like, Ragnarok freaking, comes down the sky and is like, you describe it as like meteors basically falling and stuff like
Because
that.
Caras Tirmen pulls
Yeah.
in, pulls them out.
So everybody in my group starts running for trying to hide in buildings to get away from all this debris, and that's where I get basically sucked into this area. Like, I start crawling through ruins trying to get out, and then I go into this room
when you
that's
sleep in?
inside Castle Tirmen.
Do you gain back extra con?
She, in spirit
when you
form,
use it?
finds this like
When you
crack
take
in
a
the
short rest,
wall
maybe?
in this room there where they
Makes sense.
found the lich, and she follows it. It's like, no, it was a
The
secret.
library.
Yeah,
Did
yeah.
the stream explode?
Well, no, it was no, because Emrys